Welcome to our live stream. Today we will talk about folklore. I've got 3 stories from around the world, and we will learn vocabulary and idioms and brainstorm what we think the stories actually mean. I have poll questions. This is a fun and interactive lesson for you. Hopefully, this will become a place for you. English with Jen 1, 2, 3 to practice your English. I travel a lot and I have a lot of people who ask me, where can I practice my English? How can I use it? I already know some English and yeah, what can I do? And this is what I'm trying to provide for you every week. Every week we have a new topic. Every week there's vocabulary and idioms, there's phrasal verbs, conversation points, poll questions, trivia. I try to give you, hello, Nick. I try to give you a nice, rich lesson so that you can learn. You can have a nice community. We have a lovely community here, and I welcome you with all of my heart. So if you like this, hey, Karina, darling, if you like this lesson, give it a like, follow my account, and I will definitely be back next week. Hello, Kaluna. We already have some people popping into our lesson. So enough with this. Yeah, how is everybody doing today? I hope that you're well, and I hope that everything's going nicely for you. So anyway, let's move on. And I kind of did this thing as though is that it would be great if we wait just a second for more people to show up a little bit, because we're going into our lesson today with us finding a picture or seeing a picture and then trying to talk about it. But whatever. Let's go where we are. We're here now. Let's do it. So let me move myself on over to here. And my question, hey, Lorena, perfect timing, darling. Here we have a picture. And just like yesterday, for each of our stories, then I would like to have us guess what we think that it's about, where we think it's from. I think that kind of makes it a little bit more fun than if I just tell you right away what it is. So where do you think that the story, hello, Alessio, where does the story take place? And what do you think? What do you think of what's going on in this story? And I have to tell you a little bit of good news that this week, or today actually, I checked my YouTube account and I have reached 4,000 watch hours thanks to all of you. So thank you very much. That means I need to get my taxes into YouTube and I could actually maybe start earning money. Okay, I Googled it today. Not really. I would have to have like 10,000 people watch my lives. So whatever. But anyway, you know what I mean. Thank you very much for your participation. I have been monetized. So as soon as I get my paperwork in, then I will actually potentially, thank you, Nick. Thanks to all of you who come and watch every week and who come and watch it again. It really does. It helps you and it helps me. And I'm super, super grateful. Okay, so Lorena's guessing that it is from Japan. Kaluna is guessing also from Japan because of the costume. So what do you think happens? Just like looking at the picture, what do you think is the story about? What can you tell me? What do you think the story is about? Any guesses here? You're definitely right with Japan. Thank you, Kaluna. Thank you, Kaluna, Nick, Lorena, Karina, everybody for all of your support, and Alessio, everybody who comes here regularly, watches the replay, makes comments or leaves comments, likes things. It all totally helps build our little community. So everybody is saying that it is from Japan. Hello, Japan for sure. Yes, Satoko. Do you have any idea what the name of the story is, Satoko, just by looking at the picture? She's a princess. She definitely looks like a princess, right? I agree with you. Definitely. So, but it gets more interesting than just princess. I guess from the beginning, the female that from bamboo. So do you know that story, Kaluna? Do you know the story, this Japanese story? So this is a nice one. Yuki shared it with me. So I wish that Yuki was here right now, because yeah, we're going to Albania, to Japan, and to one other place, but I'm not going to tell you because I want you to try to guess. The Princess in the Bamboo. Okay, so it seems like some people know this. Okay. So let's do this. Let's move on to some vocabulary words. And she has long hair like Rapunzel. She does, yes. Okay, I'm going to try to pronounce her name. So Kaguya, wait, hold on. I think I have it here. Okay, aha. And this is the Hima or Hima. I'm not sure. So Kaguya Hima. I don't know how to pronounce the Hime. Hello, Yuki, and thank you for your story. Perfect timing. We're moving on to vocabulary related to your story. So let's go ahead and do that. And I will hop over to here. And yeah, let's see. Okay, so here we go. So we have to discover, glow, humble, word we had yesterday, suitor, and ephemeral. I can't really say that word. I should not have put it in here. So ephemeral. Hey, Michaela, darling, welcome. And then we have our definitions to find someone. And actually, if my sound okay, because I do have my microphone, but maybe I should put it closer so it's not so far away. Okay, so to discover, glow, humble, suitor, ephemeral. A, to find something for the first time. B, a man who wants to marry someone. C, to shine softly with light, excuse me. D, modest, simple and modest, not proud. And E, lasting only a short time. So which one do you think works best with discover? These will all be vocabulary words that we will use in our story in just a minute. And Lesio and all you folks, if you don't mind, if you could go ahead, if it's possible, I don't really know, but if you could like this video, it tells the YouTube algorithm that, that this is a cool place to be. Okay, everybody is saying one is A, of course, to discover, to find something for the first time. We cannot read the definition. Is it correct? I don't know. Is the print too small, Lorena? Hey, Renee. Hello. Albania's coming next. Okay. Hello to you, Miranda. Okay. So I think, Miranda, you're my Georgian friend from last week, I want to say. Okay, so one is A, absolutely. And please let me know if you can read the definitions. Maybe the font is too small, and that's good for me to know so I don't do that next week. It is a problem. It is my problem. Is okay now. Okay, good. Okay, and I'm glad you found help for it. And everyone's on to 2C. Okay, glow, to shine softly with light, like the baby. The baby is glowing, right? All right. Good, my Georgian friend. All right, awesome. Okay, so then let's see. Number 3, humble. What can you tell me for humble? Number 3. 2 is C, 1 is A, glow is C. Alessio is saying 3 is D. All right, any other guesses that you can give me? Another D, Renit's going with D, Lorena's going with D, Miranda's going with D. Okay, Yuki too, exactly. Okay, so humble, a word we had yesterday, let's see, is D, simple and modest, not proud. Yes, Karina, exactly. What about for number 4, for suitor? Maybe this is a new word. What do we think? So we have B or we have E. Alessio is going with B. Renee's going with 5 as E. But for right now, for number 4, B, anybody else think that that's the correct word for suitor? Suitor. It's kind of like an old school word, actually. So Miranda and Kaluna Alessio, are all saying for is B, suitor, a man who wants to marry someone. So like back in the day, maybe a lady would receive a card from a man, and that would be a suitor. He would try to bring flowers and try to go on a date with her. Suitor is new. Yeah, it's kind of an old school word, I have to say. A suitor. Nowadays, we have online dating. You don't have a lot of men trying to meet a woman in sort of a slow fashion. And so, yes, but when a lot of men like a lady, or when a lot of women like a man, they have a lot of suitors, people who are interested in being together with them. New vocabulary. Okay, cool. But 3 mustn't have been new. All right, let's see. So 4, but I didn't know what it really was. Okay, so you just took a guess. And of course, the last one that I have problems pronouncing, great that I use it, is E, exactly Lorena, and exactly Renit from earlier. Ephemeral is, yes, lasting only a short time. So only here for around for just a very short period of time. All right. So let's go to our story. Just as a little recap real quickly. Let's see. Let me do this. Just to show the picture real quick. Maybe I can do it where I can show the picture so that you have, because it's nice to have a little visual image, I think. So let me remove this. I'm making this way more complicated than need be. And let me find a new image. And let's take a look at our image here. I'm going to hop over to the right. You don't need to answer this. I will just read the story. So this is our image, the image of our story. Happiness, yes, yes, exactly. It's fleeting. It's only here for a short period of time. Exactly. Beautiful. All right. So here we go. Here's our story. If I mispronounce her name, please, Hitoko Yuki. Okay, so Princess Kaguya is discovered as a tiny baby inside a glowing bamboo stalk. A humble bamboo cutter and his wife raise her with love. Each time the man cuts bamboo, he finds a nugget of gold inside, and the family soon becomes wealthy. Within just 3 months, Kaguya, and I have Kaguya and I have Kaguya Haim or Hime, I guess, I don't know, grows from an infant into a woman of an ordinary size and extraordinary beauty. At first, the bamboo cutter tries to keep her hidden, but as word of her beauty spreads, she attracts many suitors seeking her hand in marriage. Eventually, Kaguya reveals her secret. She's from the moon and must return there, leaving her adoptive parents heartbroken. Oh, good. Thank you, Yuki. Thank you. Before leaving, she gives an elixir of eternal life and a letter to the emperor, who has also fallen in love with her. However, he decides he would rather not live forever without her. Instead, he orders the letter and the elixir to be burned at the peak of Mount Fuji. So, all right, kind of a long story. There's a lot happening in the story. Please give me some feedback as to how much you understood. Maybe 0% for like, oh my gosh, you gotta read that again, to 100% like, yoo-hoo, I got it all, or anything in between, just so I can get a feeling. You can also take the opportunity now to tell me parts of the story to practice your English. So you're more than welcome to either just tell me how much you understood, and some more comments about it. And for my Japanese friends, if you want to add anything or correct anything, please do. Yeah, but I really loved this story. Oh, wait, hold on. And this timeless tale teaches lessons of humility, longing, and the fleeting, ephemeral nature of life. There we go. Threw in that word I can't pronounce. So what did you think? What do you think of the story? So I don't have any comments coming in. Maybe people are writing lots of things. You can give me percentage, how much you understood. I will definitely read it again. You can tell me what you understood, if you like the story. So all kinds of opportunities here to practice your English. Let me know. Hello to you. Hi, I just joined. Happy to have you. Is your name Hassanur or is it Raman? Let me know, please. I'm Jen, by the way. So, and if you just joined, we just read a story and I will reread it in a minute. So hang on, okay? So 90%. Okay, Yuki, cool. And Alessio, I can imagine maybe there are a couple of words that maybe you're like, I don't know. It was amazing, but I just understood 70%. Hello, Leah, darling. Hello, 80%. I didn't remember the last, so you reminded me of it. Thank you. Okay, cool. All right. Yeah. I thought it was really, really nice. So that's how Mount Fuji became sort of this burning mountain because of the elixir. And just for those, that's a word I didn't include in our vocab, but an elixir is like a magic potion that you often have in folk tales and myths and stories like that. Oh, really? Okay. Okay, that's fun. So, okay, I'm going to write elixir real quick for you. Elixir. And this is something that gives you magical powers and stuff. Hey, Carmen, nice to have you here. 80% sounds good. Okay, so let's kind of comb through it. Miranda, I got it, but my internet delays was a problem. Okay, no biggie. Let's talk about it and I will reread it, okay? So if, let's see. What is your name again? Sorry. If Hazamar, if you're still here, we're going through it again. So basically, we have this beautiful baby that is found inside of a bamboo, right? So in the stalk. So you can have the stalk is what the inside when you have like we have Jack and the Beanstalk. In this case, bamboo, it's a stalk. It's not really a trunk so much. Maybe a stalk. I've never really thought of it, to be quite honest. 50%, Lorena. Okay, cool. Let's go through it. A stalk is when you have, I think, something that is hollow in the inside. Like bamboo is empty on the inside. It's not really a trunk that grows like this. It's something that grows individually and is hollow. So it's open in the middle. And so this bamboo cutter, a humble man, a simple man, he chops some bamboo and then he finds this beautiful baby. And do you remember what they said, how long it took for her to become an adult? So she was a baby, and then how much time did it take for her to grow into a full-grown, beautiful woman? Do you remember what I said? So that should be a pretty short answer. Maybe you want to add. Okay, so that's my question. So she grew into a beautiful woman. Thank you, Nick. Ding, ding, ding. 3 months. So imagine that from baby to full-grown woman in 3 months. Exactly. All right, cool, Hasanur. You're with us still. Awesome. Okay, and so then she's so beautiful that hold on, let me do this. So not 18 years in this case. This is folklore. This is magic. This is about legends. This is stuff that's about make-believe. So 3 months, and then she went from baby to full-grown woman. Lots of men were interested in her. Lots of noblemen, from what I read, and even the emperor of Japan. And she kind of didn't really, like she gave them, this was something that was also interesting. She made them try to fulfill really difficult tasks. One was something like the scales of a dragon. So like a snake doesn't have skin really. It has these little things like a fish. It has scales. And so like something like that, like, you know, something super impossible, because I think she didn't really want to get married or something. I don't know. But yeah, so then she gave them all these tasks. And then one day she tells her family, her mother and father, her earthly mother and father, that she is actually from the moon. And they really want her to stay here. They don't want her to leave. They love her so much. And but she has to go. This is not her home. Earth is not her home. And Yuki and Hitoko, there was something about the story about why she had to come to Earth. Like it was some sort of punishment. I don't know. Maybe you can tell me if you know that element of the story. I didn't get a lot of information about that, but she came to Earth. She gave a lot of love or brought a lot of love with her to her mother and father. And then she went up back to the moon and she left a letter and she left this eternal life, this elixir for eternal life for the emperor, but he didn't want it because if he could not live with her for the rest of his life, he did not want to live forever. Very romantic. I don't think Peter would say that about me. And rightfully so. But anyway, so yes, so that's our story. I will read it again and let's go. Let's see, okay? If you will understand it a little bit better, maybe you can take some notes if you feel like there's something you don't really understand, or if you have questions. I didn't know the reason why she had to come down to Earth. Yeah, there's some reason, and it might not be that reason was ever given in the story, but there was a reason as like sort of a punishment. At least that's what I read in one of the versions of the story. But maybe not. I don't know. Because why did she come to Earth? I understood. Super. Okay, here's our story. So Princess Kaguya is discovered as a baby inside a glowing bamboo stalk. The humble bamboo cutter and his wife raise her with love. Each time the man cuts bamboo, he finds a nugget of gold inside, and the family soon becomes wealthy. Within just 3 months, Kaguya grows from an infant into a woman of ordinary size and extraordinary beauty. At first, the bamboo cutter tries to keep her hidden, but as word of her beauty spreads, she attracts many suitors seeking her hand in marriage. Eventually, Kaguya reveals her secret. She is from the moon and must return there, leaving her adoptive parents heartbroken. Before leaving, she gives an elixir of eternal life and a letter to the emperor, who had also fallen in love with her. However, he decides he would rather not live forever without her. Instead, he orders the letter and the elixir to be burned on the peak of Mount Fuji. This timeless tale teaches lessons of humility, longing, and the fleeting ephemeral nature of life. We're not here forever. We're only here for a short period of time. And the people that we love, I guess, as well, that's teaching us as well, they're not here forever as well. So we need to just sort of to appreciate them while we can. All right, so you neither, Hitoko, as well. Okay, with knowing why she came to Earth. All right, so, and also I want to ask my friends here. So I've seen her name written as Kaguya, and then Kaguya hyphen H-I-M-E. Does H-I-M-E mean something? A nugget. Yes. Okay, so a nugget is a piece. Exactly. I only knew nugget as chicken. A nugget. Yes. So nugget with a U as a chicken nugget, but the shape of a chicken nugget is like a nugget. And so we say like a nugget of gold, like this raw piece of gold, this chunk of gold. Totally agree. We are not here forever. Exactly. Okay. So thank you guys for asking that word. A nugget you can have, that's such a great nugget of advice, like a little chunk of advice. And my opinion is Kaguya's real parents counted on that couple as a nanny. So you mean like they needed to go and do some things, so they relied on them to raise her as a nanny? Maybe nuggets of gold as payment for that. Exactly. Yeah, that's what I read too. Exactly. That the nugget of gold was for the upkeep of keeping their baby healthy and taking care of them. Maybe the punishment is for Kaguya, who has to go back to the moon. Yeah, maybe. I wonder. I think that I have a question later on that kind of goes in a little bit of that direction. So I hope that understanding is now better, that things kind of sit a little bit better. Sometimes these stories, and especially this one, it's longer than most of our stories, so it's a lot to kind of soak up. But there's a lot to tell in the story, so I chose to go for a longer version. Okay, let's take a look at some idioms that is related to this story. And here we go. And I am good where I am, so that's a nice thing. We have 23 people here right now. I am so stoked to have you all here. Thank you very much. Hey, Renata, darling, welcome. Ah, okay, cool. Okay, so Haim, am I saying Haim right? Or him? Haim or him? Is princess. Okay. Good. All right. So princess from the moon. Okay. Thank you very much, Yuki, for that answer. I figured it meant something, and I was, in all honesty, a little too lazy to look. So sorry. All right, here we go. So we have idioms. We have 1, out of this world. We have 2, a tough nut to crack. 3, in the blink of an eye. 4, heart of gold. Here are our definitions very quickly. A, very quickly. B, extraordinary. C, very kind. And D, a difficult problem. Leah's going with 1 is B, out of this world. Who agrees with Miss Leah? What can you tell me? Out of this world. Very cool. Okay, so Lorena's saying 1 is B. Miranda's going with B as well. Exactly. Okay. Hitoko too. Karina. Okay, good guys. So yes. And Terry's here with us too. Welcome on board. B. Okay, cool. Yes, exactly. So out of this world is extraordinary. So this tale is extraordinary. It starts from being out of this world with a baby that is found glowing inside of a stalk of bamboo, then growing up in 3 months. Then finding out that she is actually from the moon. Thank you, Leah and Lorena. 2, you're saying is D, a tough nut to crack. So a tough nut to crack. What can you tell me? I've got a C of D's coming in. So exactly, a tough nut to crack is a difficult problem, right? So it's a tough nut to crack. She's a tough nut to crack, right? All of these suitors want her hand in marriage, and she made it super difficult for them to be able to get close to her. So she's a tough nut to crack. Everyone is throwing in 3 in the blink of an eye as A. Renata, you're absolutely correct. 2 is D. 3 is A. Very good. In the blink of an eye, very quickly. We pronounce it okay. Hime. Okay. So that would be, hold on. And I'm going to write this for myself. He may. Thank you, Yuki, for the phonetic pronunciation. I appreciate that. Yeah, so Kaguya Hime. Kaguya Hime. All right. So yes, exactly. So in the blink of an eye is obviously A, very quickly. So in the blink of an eye, she was no longer on Earth. She was back on the moon and living with her parents there, her biological parents. All right. So then last but not least, obviously, 4, exactly, Lorena, is C. Thank you for writing. Thank you, Miranda. Thank you, Terry. So heart of gold is C, very kind. Yeah, thank you, Yuki, for your thumbs up on my pronunciation there. So yeah, so heart of gold is a very kind person. So hold on, let me get her name right. Kaguya Hime had a heart of gold. She was beautiful, she was kind, and maybe even the parents had a heart of gold in a sense as well. Okay, so let me pop over to here, and I have a question for you as kind of like a fun little hypothetical question. So here we go. If you had to leave Earth forever and live on the moon, what would you miss most? All right. So you have to leave Earth because I was thinking. So she spent some time because then they said this. This was one little detail. Yuki Hitoko, please help me. That I read that she grew up in 3 months. And then she spent another 3 years on Earth. All of these suitors were interested in her. And then after 3 years, she left. So she had some experience on Earth. And I wondered in her situation, what would be some things that she would miss on Earth? And so this is why I came up with this question asking you, if you had to leave Earth forever and live on the moon, what would you miss most? My husband, oh, my 3 daughters, yes. My daughters, of course, my daughters, you too. I would miss trees. I would too. I would miss the nature. I would miss running water, beautiful waterfalls, forest, swimming in the sea. Yes. Okay. Anybody else wish to share what they would miss other than people? Okay. Because clearly we're all going to miss some people. What are some physical things that you would like? 3 is correct. Okay. The sea, everything, but mostly my family, nature. The moon has no trees, beaches, and so on. Food. Oh, yeah, Hutoko. Yeah, good human food. Exactly. Nothing much. I would go with pleasure, except all my favorite people. Really? You would go? Okay, cool. Oxygen. Yeah, Yuki, right? I would miss gravity, I think. I don't know how much gravity is on the moon, but I do remember like the astronauts, jumping around. So it must not be as much, at least, gravity as what we have here. I would miss that. It would be annoying. Like sometimes to just not, get to somewhere, have things floating around all the time. At the beginning, it would probably be fun. Also, the nature. Okay. So let's see. Moving on to the next question, because it made me think of sort of the emperor and that he fell in love with hold on, let me get the name right, Kaguya Hime. That he fell in love with Kaguya Hime, and it made me think. So curious to see, and that she was here for such a short period of time. Let's see. The next one is that. I'm jumping the gun here. Hold on. No gravity, no wrinkles. Ooh, good point. Music, also the nature. Yeah, and everything stays nice and perky, I guess, too. Yeah, good point, Renata. Very, very good point. All right, so let's see. Moving on to number 4. This is our poll question. This is first dealing with, hold on, let me move myself over to here. No, I need to go here. Would you rather, live an ordinary but happy life, or B, live an extraordinary life, but a really short one? So, hello, I miss View Moons. Okay, so you miss, and what is your name Kasim? It's hard for me to see. I just want to get your name right. Well, in hypothetical situation, there would be nature, oxygen, and so on, of course. Wi-Fi, Yuki says, yeah, I would miss that too. For sure. Okay, so Nick says B. So an extraordinary but a short life. Everybody's saying B. Okay. So just like it's full of adventure. And like, let's say this, how would you just define extraordinary? Karina's going with A. And what for you, Karina, is, and Michaela, is ordinary. What would be an extraordinary life? For those of you who are answering A, what makes an ordinary life ordinary? What kinds of things would you like? Or B, an extraordinary life, what would make it extraordinary? That's the most difficult question I've encountered, but I tend more to A. Okay. Yeah, I guess with A, it's just kind of normal. You have your home, you have your family, but it's a happy life, right? You're not out adventuring and doing different things, but you don't have many things that set you back, maybe. Between A and B. Okay, Yuki. Tailoring it to fit your needs. I like it. Everything but ordinary. Okay. And if anybody would like to answer anything else here, and why do I have, I still have our banner up. Excuse me. Get rid of that. Clean up my house here. Okay. So let's see what you have to say. We have a comment come in. Being happy is important. It's true, but it is a word I cannot pronounce. It is ephemeral. Ephemeral. I will get this one day. A simple life with my family, nothing special for me. It's enough. Okay. I am working, so I'm watching astronaut animation now. They just landed on the moon. Oh, fun. Very fun. Okay, so let's see. Let's move on to our last question for this story. And then, Ranit, we're jumping over to Albania. Okay, we're going to fly on over to Albania. Ordinary daily routine, simple joys, quiet struggles, and moments that might seem small but carry deep meaning. Michaela, that's so beautiful. I love that. That's so nice. Ordinary, normal life, but happy as today with my family and a job. Okay, nice. Okay, no right or wrong answer. This is a poll question. It's how you feel about it. And then earlier, I was taking us down the path with the prince or the emperor that is of Japan. And my question to you kind of goes in the same vein, a little bit like in the same direction. So let's see. My question to you is this. Sorry, I cannot see that, but it's something about to love or not have loved. Let me move on down here and find it. Is it better to have loved and lost than to never have loved at all? And I direct this towards the Emperor of Japan, who fell in love with I'm messing this up now, sorry. Why can I not remember? Kaguya Hime. He fell in love with Kaguya Hime, and then she left. But he experienced that love. Is it worth it, or would you rather not? What can you tell me? Let's see. It reminds me of the movie The Age of Adeline. I don't know that movie. What's that movie about? You have to let me know. I can go wherever I want. I can go wherever. I want to help as many people as I can without worrying about money, building schools, hospital, orphanages, elderly houses, and settler houses, or I guess it's maybe houses for immigrants or so. So Leah, I hope you are rich one day because you have your heart in the right place to help people. I don't want to be like her. Sitting just next to my husband and have a cup of coffee is my happiness. That's nice. I get that. 100%. Ooh, that's such a difficult question. I know. I'm throwing really difficult ones today. Rainit, you're probably going to agree. Okay, no. This is the harder question. You said earlier the question was hard. But is it better? This is a nice sort of saying that we have in English. It is better to have loved and lost, so you lose that love, than to never have felt those feelings before. What do you think? What is it for you? Have loved and lost, I think it's part of our life. Okay, thank you, Lorena. First one, of course, love is like oxygen for our soul. Very romantic. So let's see, Renit, I wondered that when I lost my parents, but better to have loved much even with a loss. Agree. So it doesn't have to even be romantic love. It can also be friends and family, of course. Amen. Nice, Yuki. I think it is better not to know this feeling, but not to suffer that you have lost. Okay. So not a right or wrong answer. Again, it is better to have loved. I think it's better to have loved, to have those feelings, to have known that sort of passion, that oxygen for the soul. Renee, thank you very much for such a poetic way of describing that. That's my opinion. So anyway, we cannot live without love. Some of us can't. Some of us can't more than others, right? All right, so let's move on. We're moving on to our next story. Like I said, we are heading to Albania. And oh, I told it. Dang it. Okay, well, at least you don't maybe know the story. Okay, so here we go. I wanted you to guess, but okay. I have a big mouth. Here we go. Oh, no, we need this one. So, and I am going to pop over to here. And let's see. I can't believe I gave it away. Okay, so you know where this is, but what happened in this place? What do you think is the story? Better have loved and lost. Memory of love remains forever. Ooh, I love that too. Michaela, you're on a real like poetic way with words today. I feel I should not meet him, just offer. I lost him, but offer time heal me. I appreciate meet him maybe. Okay, you bet him maybe. Okay, so I think that you, Yuki, that you mean that you would prefer to have loved than and lost. I think. The time will heal it, but you will still have the appreciation for him. All right. So, what do we say? No pressure, Michaela. You know, if that was your last poetic statement, no stress. Zero stress. So, we have a picture here. We all know it's in Albania. Thank you, Yuki. So, we all know it's in Albania, but what on earth happened in this place? What do you know? And Renit knows the answer. So, yeah, very interesting what happened here. Any guesses for me? My cup kind of matches my dress today in a way. So what can you tell me? Any guesses about what happened in Albania and this place right here? If not, all right, we've got a guess. Can't see it clearly. It just looks like a rocky mountain. Okay. Maybe the picture is not so good. Okay, it's actually kind of, it's some battle for the beauty. Yeah, okay, good guess, Cherry. Good guess. So it is a castle, and it's a castle in Albania. It's situated on rocks, so that's why. I like Nicolas Cage's choice from City of Angels movie. I'm not sure what that is. That the movie that you were talking about earlier? Looks like a fortress. Yes, it does. Okay, so let's do this. Let's pop up some vocab, and then we will read the story about this amazing place that maybe I will visit one day. Let's see. So number 6. Need to do this, and I need to go over to here. And let's see. Damun, what is that? Damon was living in, he fell in love. A demon, do you mean a demon maybe? D-E-M-O-N, like a devil. Demon was living and he fell in love with human beautiful lady. Good guess, very good guess, Yuki. So, all right, here we go. Let's go through our vocab and then we'll read our story. 1, to collapse. 2, fortress. 3, sealed. 4, to remain. 5, to seep. A strong castle or building made for defense. B, to fall suddenly. C, closed tightly so nothing can enter or escape. D, to stay in the same place or condition. E, to flow or leak slowly through small holes or spaces. So Miranda saying 1 is B, Leah saying 1 is B, to collapse, Alessio saying B, Ranit saying B, Hitoko saying B. Okay, everybody's saying B, to collapse, to fall down suddenly. So a person can collapse from exhaustion. If you work too much, you could just collapse on the sofa. A building can collapse. So things that just fall down, they collapse. All right, keeping us on track. Leah, Alessio, Miranda, and Yuki, 1 is B. You're exactly right. 2, Lorena is saying A. Everyone is saying A. A sea of A's. So a fortress, a strong castle or building made for defense. And I learned once that the difference between a castle and a palace is that a palace is typically a big building or a big home, let's say, where people live when there is not war, and a castle is more where you have a fortress around it. It is where you want to be defended. So palace, if you think of Versailles, is a palace. It doesn't have a lot around it to protect it. And yeah, in Germany, we have tons of castles. If you ever come to Germany, I highly, highly recommend taking a train from Cologne to Frankfurt, because you ride along the Rhine and it's one castle after the other. It looks so beautiful. Highly recommend it. All right, so 3, we have everyone guessing 3 is C. Thank you guys for your guesses. Appreciate it. Sealed, C. Closed tightly so nothing can enter or escape. Okay, so it's sealed. If you think of like a jar of pickles or a jar of something, it's sealed. No air can get inside of it. So 4, yes, exactly. So 1 is B, 2 is A, 3 is C, 4 to remain. What can you tell me for number 4? Number 4. It's either D or E again. We have D and E again. Okay, so we have Terry, Lorena. Who else is guessing D? Miranda, Alessio, Renata. Exactly. Okay, so for to remain, D, to stay in the same place or condition. So he remained silent. He stayed silent. If you remain somewhere, you stay somewhere. And last but not least, probably the one word, maybe Renata, you probably know this, 5, to seep, is to flow or to leak slowly through small holes or spaces. So it just seeps out. The liquid seeped out of something. All right, so here are our vocabulary words. We have, just as a review, collapse, fortress, sealed, remain, seep. Exactly, 5 is E. 1B, 2A, 3C, 4D, 5E, and here we go. Exactly, Miranda. All right, so here's our story. This one's a little bit shorter this time. So that's good for all of us. So here we go. 3 brothers tried to build a castle in Shakura, I guess. Help me, Renate. But every night the walls collapsed. A wise man told them the fortress would only stand if one of the 3 brothers' wives was sacrificed and buried in the wall. They agreed that whichever wife brought food the next morning would be chosen. The 2 older brothers broke their promise and warned their wives. The youngest kept silent. His wife, Rozafa, came with food and was chosen. Before she was sealed inside the castle, she asked for 1 arm, 1 eye, and one breast to remain free, so she could comfort her baby. Her sacrifice made the castle strong, and her milk was said to seep from the walls. Scary. Yeah, okay. I think surgery wound seeping. Yeah, that's what you think of. Yeah, like I think of like a surgery wound is like oozing. I guess there's a little delay on my internet connection. No stress, no stress. Okay, so how much of the story did you understand? What can you tell me about the story? And what do you think? Yuki's already chimed in with scary. Okay, so what do you think about the story? It reminds me of Edgar Allan Poe stories. Yes, it's got a little darkness to it. Yes. And percentage-wise of understanding, 0%, 100%, something in between. Okay, Yuki, good. 90%. Ah, Hitoko, a mother's love, right? A mother's love. So she's willing to sacrifice her life, but she just wants to make sure that her baby is going to be okay somehow. So yeah, a mother's love. That's a beautiful way of putting it. And percentage of understanding, anything that you can tell me. Otherwise, I will kind of comb through our story a little bit and read it again. So 80% Lorena, okay? These are higher numbers, okay? Than the last one. Poor youngest brother, 75%. Yeah, right? Poor youngest brother's wife, 70%, 70%. Okay, okay. So let's see. It's also So there's also a short movie that about the story, but it's in an Albanian language. Oh no! I wonder if it has. Is it on YouTube, Renate? Because maybe if you would like, you could maybe copy the link and put it in the comments when this live stream is saved. And maybe YouTube will have a translation. So maybe we could see it. That would be very interesting if you don't mind. If you could maybe copy a link, put it into the comments later on when this is saved, and we can see if maybe it offers, because sometimes on YouTube you can change the language. Why sacrifice a wife and not a brother? Because that's what happens in our world. All right, 70%. Okay, so we've got 3 brothers. Now I have like 6 here. So we have 3 brothers. They're obviously princes, I guess, or they're nobility of some sort. Let's say they are princes. And they're trying to build this castle, and every time they build it, the walls collapse. Always the same story, right? It's always the same story. So they try. I wonder how she kept feeding her baby while she's dead. I think, Yuki, we can't look too far into it. Gender discrimination, exactly, Nick. Exactly. That's one of the topics you want me to cover, or at least I think gender differences or so. She accepted her destiny, but she has an eternal love for her kids. Exactly. Exactly. So exactly. So 3 brothers, 3 wives. They're supposed to not tell the wives that whoever brings food tomorrow to the men, that person would be the one who's sacrificed. So 2 of the brothers, the 2 elder brothers, tell their wives. Of course, they're like, oh, hold on, let me see her name again. Rozafa, you can take the lunch today. Yeah. No, it's fine. We'll clean up here. We'll wash all the other kids. You go, girl. And so she goes, doesn't realize, but she's going to have to be sacrificed. I think there's something very noble about the way that she behaved. She thought of her child, she thought of her baby, and she didn't fight it. She didn't resist it. She accepted her fate. How did she eat to feed the baby? I know, Terry, we can't look too deep into this. Sorry. But why the wife and not the men are to be sacrificed? Lorena, I don't know. I don't know. But it's often this way, right? Yeah, we need to rewrite these stories. Maybe we will do this in a minute. I don't know. So, okay. So that's our story. I will read it again really quickly. And yeah. So here we go. 3 brothers tried to build a castle in Shokta, but every night the walls collapsed. A wise man told them the fortress would stand only if one of their wives was sacrificed and buried in the wall. They agreed that whichever wife brought food the next morning would be chosen. The 2 older brothers broke their promise and warned their wives, but the youngest kept silent. His wife, Rozafa, came with food and was chosen. Before she was sealed in the building, she asked for 1 arm, 1 eye, and 1 breast to remain free, so she could comfort her baby so she could comfort her baby. Her sacrifice made the castle strong, and her milk was said to seep from the walls. Renit, have you ever been to this castle? Do they have anything there that sort of memorializes this woman or anything there? Yeah, I didn't look that up to see if there's anything there, because I know yesterday in our story in Poland they have a dragon that shoots fire still at the castle at Valville. I would bury this husband and live with other wife. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I mean, a wise man is not wise at all to give such an idea. What a jerk. Yeah, I don't know. I'm sure there's something deeper to this. Okay. So, all right. So, actually, we have a lot of comments coming in. So, this is kind of interesting. And let's see. I'm going to remove this and get your opinion about this story, because I'm kind of mixed. I find there's beauty to it, but it's also kind of sad. It's yeah. So yes, I have been, and there's a memorial of it on the wall. You did, Renata, you missed the story about, hold on, the Wawel Castle in Krakow with a dragon and the shoemaker who feeds the sheep with sulfur, and then it explodes. Yeah, I'm sure you know that story. So what can you tell me here? How do you feel about the story? Let's get your honest opinions here. And yeah, let's see what you have to say. So let me go back to my notes here so that I can actually read this. So how do you feel about the story? A, inspired. C, angry. Michaela's jump into that. B, sad. Or D, thoughtful and reflective. I have to say, I feel kind of a combination. You know, I feel sort of angry that it's always the woman somehow that has to sacrifice. But there's also something beautiful about the story that she wants to be there for her baby. I think that's a really kind of beautiful element in the story. The source of light are warm on your face. Is that good? Maybe he didn't love his wife because he didn't warn her. Yeah, maybe. Yeah, Terry, good point. C and D for Lorena, angry and also thoughtful and reflective. Alessia, you say thoughtful and reflective too. Yeah, I think that, yeah, I can't be just angry, I think. I think that there's more to the story. It's very deep. So let's see. So, all right, Terry's saying B, sad. Okay, so some of you have already answered our next question, but you may totally elaborate on that. And so I'm giving you the option of this. If you could rewrite the ending of the story, what would you write? Okay, how would you write the story? Some of you have already answered this question intuitively. You know my style of teaching, and others have not. What would be your reflection? Hold on. I think I've missed some, excuse me. C and D for Karina. The castle was completed, but Rozafa's story is a profound symbol of sacrifice and maternal devotion. Her milk is said to have stained the stones where she was buried. No. Renee, wait a second. Is this a real story? I think it's probably a legend, right? What would be your reflection? Are you asking my reflection on the story? How would I change it, or what? Michaela, I'm not sure what your question is. Sorry. Story. Nothing about the older brothers cheating and warning their wives. Not fair. Hello, darling. Hello, Leticia. Everybody, sorry for being late. You're not late. You're here now. It's good. I was demonstrating with my colleagues. We are on strike. In France today. You're on strike. How did it go? If my husband would have sacrificed me, I would have escaped with my baby. Okay. Yeah. Well, okay. It's interesting how she accepted her fate. There was no real pushback or fighting. So let's see. All right. Oh, okay. I think that was twice. Same message. Husband should sacrifice at least. So, okay. So Nick says in his story, one of the husbands should be sacrificed. Okay. But how? Like, yeah. I mean, if I think of something, then it instantly goes to where the woman is at fault again. I was thinking that whichever wife burns the rice or whatever the next time that husband dies. I don't know, but then it's the woman's fault again. I don't know. I don't have a good ending for this story, but I just wanted to offer you the opportunity to have a different ending. Why not? Here are some idioms that are related to the story, and then we'll move on to our third and final story for today. I love all of your participation. Thank you so, so very much. It's always great to get your perspectives on different things. So let's move on. Let's learn these idioms and continue on with our third story for the day. Okay, so let's see. So idiom, first one, we've got blood, sweat, and tears. Between a rock and a hard place, which is one we had yesterday, stand the test of time, and a heavy heart. We have A, difficult choice, B, hard sacrifice for success, C, deep sadness, or D, endure for a long period of time. No way to accept the burn, being buried in a wall. Yeah, I don't understand which reflections come from that legend, a part of maternal devotion. Apart from maternal devotion. Yes, yes. I get that. Yeah, yeah. I guess accepting your fate, that we all have a fate, perhaps. Sometimes you can't fight it. And if you're put into a situation, there's dignity in it. No, not really, Yuki, but it's widespread and cherished legend connected to the construction of the Rozafa castle. Yes, okay. Hello to you, Renit and Jen. Thanks for sharing. It's some interesting love story. Yes, 1B, 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 1B. Anybody else saying B? So blood, sweat, and tears. Renata's going for B. All right, so blood, sweat, and tears, B, hard sacrifice for success. So they worked on this castle, blood, sweat, and tears. It was just difficult for them to get through with this, to build something. And so, yeah, they met some wise man. I don't know if he's so wise. I don't know what made him wise to say that. I guess wise because then it's still alive today, or it's still in, yeah, alive. It's still there today. We can still visit it today. And Renit, I think that you also told me that the if you take a look, you can take a look at this castle. I'll write the name of it. And you can take a look at it. And it seems like, I think it's from like the 9th century. It's very old. And it seems as though a lot of other European castles were based on this castle architecturally. So for that alone, it's also very interesting. Rozafa. If you look up Rozafa, that's the name of the lady who sacrificed her life. Then, oh shoot, I think that did Rozaza. We need Rozafa. Rozaza, no, Rozafa. Then you will, dang it. Then you will find what this castle looks like, a better picture of it. Sorry, my picture was pretty crummy. So let me add that. Okay, Renee, please send the link about the movie. I would like to know more about Albania. Awesome. Yes, please, Renee, if you don't mind, put it into the comments later on once this live stream has been saved, and we can take a look and see if we can, if it has translation. And if it doesn't, it's still interesting to see the castle structure. So please do send it if you have a moment to do so. All right, 2 people are saying, oops, hold on. I am on the last story. And we have between a rock and a hard place, which is an idiom we had yesterday in our quiz. Between a rock and a hard place, number 2, we have some A's coming in. So that is absolutely correct. 2A is a difficult choice. When you have two things to choose from, there's not really one option that's looking pretty good. You're in a rock and a hard place. Or you have a difficult decision to make, then you're in a rock and a hard place. I always think of like being backed up against a wall, and then there's a rock in front of me, and there's not much you can do. You have a very difficult decision to make. You're in a rock and a hard place, or between a rock and a hard place, either or. All right, number 3, stand the test of time. What can you tell me? Michaela's on it already. 3D. Leticia, my dear, is saying D. Who else have we got? Miranda saying D. Lorena. Terry. We have such a great group of people today. It's so nice to have a lot of regulars here. You were able to make it. It's very cool. All right. So everybody's saying D. This is easy. So stand the test of time. 3, to endure for a long period. So this castle, built in, I think, the 9th century, has stood the test of time. Maybe thanks to Rozafa. I don't know. So if you would like to know more about Albania, I suggest a documentary released 4 days ago on, I don't have that. It was really wonderfully made. Okay, I'm going to take a screenshot of this, or actually, let me do this. I am going to put your comment up here so that maybe other people who are watching the replay can, or you, for those of you at home, also you can take a screenshot as well, and and take a look at this documentary. Thank you, Renee. If you happen to find anything about this on YouTube, it would be wonderful to have you share it in the comments later on. Okay, so yes, last but not least, thank you, Terry. Thank you, Lorena, for a heavy heart. So for C, deep sadness. So yes, so probably the younger brother with heavy heart saw his wife coming up with the lunch and thought, oh no, not my woman. So with heavy heart. And we often use this actually when we talk about someone passing away. It's with heavy heart that I need to inform you that George passed away last week. So it's with a heavy heart. It's with heavy heart. We use this often for when people pass away. All right. So we are moving on to another story. Thank you very much, Yuki, and thank you very much, Renate, for sharing unique and wonderful stories. I would love to do more live streams like this because I think they're super fun. They're educational, they're cultural, and it's interesting to learn how cultures function and what kind of it becomes an important story around the world. So if you have a specific story from your culture, later on when this has been saved, please write it in the comments because then I can find it easier later on. So quite sad. Those guys didn't think and feel properly. They didn't have doubts about what an unknown person suggested them to do. Yeah, but yes. But some of these stories don't make sense. If you take a look a lot at Greek mythology, a lot of them are very cruel. So maybe we've evolved as people. Maybe we wouldn't want to do these things anymore. Yeah. In my opinion, standing the test of time is the most difficult thing in life. Yes. To stand the test of time. It often, it's buildings, it's monuments, it's somebody's legacy could stand the test of time. So through many generations, something that remains there. Okay, so let's move on to our next story. Again, thank you to both of you, to Yuki and Renate, for sharing. I asked people to share, and you two came forward and did it. So thank you. All right, so let's see. We are moving on, and I am not telling you where this is. You got to guess. So Renate, I really appreciate it if you could share with me. Yes. So, all right. So let me remove this slide. Let me add our next slide, and I'm going to have to hop on over, and let's see. We need number 9. That's it. And I am going to mosey on over to here. There we go, a little 80s dance. All right, so what happens in this story and where is it? Where on earth? I hope you can see this picture a little bit better. I hope it's not so fuzzy, and yeah, let me know. So what happens in this story and where is it? What can you tell me? What do you think? And I can tell you, this is not Europe. It is definitely, this is not Europe. That's the only thing I'm telling you. That's the only hint you get. This is not in Europe. That's it. Cambodia. Looks at, yeah, I get that. I totally get that. Nick, I would guess the same, but it's not. Bali. Okay, good guess. Good guess. Looks like the Aztecs, Miss Renata. This is happening in South America. Okay. Or the Mayans, Egypt. Okay. So let's say this. So it's definitely in South America. And what do you think happened here? What is this, the story? What story is this? A temple in Bali. It totally looks, I absolutely 100% get sort of the Indonesian sort of vibe and the Cambodian vibe, but it's not there. It's actually South America. Thanks for your wonderful explanation. If any Albanian channel happen to know that you did a live story about the country, don't get surprised if they invite you. That would be wonderful. I am itching to go to Albania. So Mexico, Cambodia, so sacrifice rituals. Ooh. Good guess, Renato. Very, very good guess. It does look like the site of sacrificial rituals, definitely, or sacrifices. It definitely has that vibe. So we are in South America. And actually, we don't really know, because we're talking about the legend of El Dorado. Have you ever heard of this? The legend of El Dorado. El Dorado. The legend of El Dorado. And I will plop this on the screen for us. El Dorado. This is the poster for a movie called El Dorado. Yes. Okay, so I stole this off the internet. I'm probably going to have like copyright laws, so people coming after me. But yes, so let's just say that that's not from that movie. Women's sacrifices. No more women. No more women. Michaela, we're safe. We're safe in this story. I've been to some of them. Very cool. Okay, so this is the legend of El Dorado. So if you have heard of this, so Leticia, you know the poster. Have you seen the movie? And what can you tell me about it? I'm not sure if anybody has seen it or heard of it, seen the movie or heard of the story. If not, we will hop into our vocab and then I will read you the story. So far, nobody is answering, but maybe you're typing away. I'll pull up our vocab. If you want to write something, you're more than welcome to do so. But let me get our vocab going. Seeking of gold. Yeah, Miranda, exactly. So you had all of these people that came. Hold on, let me find this. Doop. And I need to hop over here. Okay. So you had a lot of different people from Spain. I think they were British as well. Excuse me, my nose itches. Somebody's thinking of me. Seeking gold, exactly. El Dorado, the legend of El Dorado. I won't tell you too much. Let's do vocab, read the story, and maybe that will also trigger some memories for you to tell me more about it. So we have 1, to risk, 2, greed, vocab word we had yesterday, 3, to explore, 4, eternal, and 5, obsession. We'll go through these kind of quickly. Probably the majority of these are not new. We have A, lasting forever, B, to look for or discover something, C, wanting too much, D, always thinking about something, and E, to take a chance, and Alessio's jumping in. We're all thinking about, yeah. So that's funny. Alessio, 1 is E. Okay, who agrees with Alessio? 1, oops, sorry, hold on. To risk something, to risk. What can you tell me? I saw this movie, but it was like 25 years ago. Okay. So maybe I won't get in trouble with copyright laws. Maybe it's so old nobody cares anymore. Okay, so 1E. We have from Leticia, we have from Renee, we have from Yuki, we have from Alessio, and Lorena, and Miranda. So, okay, yes. 1 is E, to risk, to take a chance. So if you imagine that you're going like hunting for gold, you're going on this big exploration, you're really taking a lot of risks. There were the natives that were there. There was uncharted territory, so areas that you didn't know. Maybe you came into contact with different wildlife. So 2, we have Alessio saying C as well now. Yuki saying C, Miranda, Ranit, Lorena. All right, 2, greed, C, wanting too much. So I'm sure you can imagine these explorers that were on this adventure to find gold. Greed was absolutely at the top of their ambition. They just wanted more and more and more. All right, what can you tell me, please, for 3? To explore. To explore. Oh, a little ginger. Peter made me some ginger tea last night that I'm working my way through today. All right, so Alicia is saying 3 is B. Miranda is saying 3 is B, to explore. Lorena, Miranda, we have Miranda before Terry. Okay, Renate as well. So 3, B, to explore. To look for something, to look for or discover something. So they were exploring the territory, looking for gold, risking their lives because they were greedy. So the adjective is greedy. 4, eternal, A, lasting forever. Exactly. And then 5, last but not least, we have obsession. So 5, Leticia is saying D, okay. So 5D, always thinking about something. So these people were obsessed with trying to find treasure. Okay, so here's our story. Here we go. Our vocab as a recap real quick, sorry. Risk, greed, explore, eternal obsession. So here we go. El Dorado was said to be a city of gold hidden somewhere in the jungles of South America. Explorers from Europe risked everything, ship, men, and treasure, searching for it. Some believed it was a city, others a king covered in gold dust. Though none truly found it, the legend inspired adventure, greed, and the courage to explore unknown lands. El Dorado represents the eternal human desire for wealth and the danger of obsession. So, how much of the story did you understand? What can you tell me about it? Anything that you would like to add. So percentage-wise of understanding, anything you would like to add. And I read in one of the descriptions of this that the Spanish explorers, I think it was primarily Spanish, maybe British. I think there were Germans too. There were some German explorers as well. And they thought that there was a lot of gold because along the coast, when they came across indigenous people, the original people, then they saw that they had very intricate gold pieces and statues and masks. So they thought, if this is here, because they didn't see any gold making facilities, where does this come from? There must be a place where a lot of this is. And so that's what sparked this sort of like this passion, or this obsession, better said, this obsession to try to find El Dorado, this city of gold. 75%, thank you. I understand. And as I remember, I watched that in cartoons. Yeah, probably it's a cartoon somewhere. Because it does spark this sort of interest. And from what I've heard is that they don't know, I mean, it's probably a legend, but they think it might be somewhere in Colombia, somewhere in like the jungles in Colombia. Because the way that they crafted the gold was really, really well executed. And the people, these indigenous people that lived on the coastline, didn't have tools, didn't have the means of making the stuff. So that means that somebody else did. So that's what sparked this obsession and the curiosity of these explorers. Anybody else want to give me a percentage of how much they understood? Otherwise, we'll read the story. Oh, Peru. Okay, maybe it's Peru, Colombia. I'm not sure. No idea. I thought that it was Colombia. So, yes, I will read the story again. If you 80%, okay, that's a good figure. So we've got 75, we've got 80. So let's see. All right, I'm going to read it once more, and 70 from Lorena. Okay. Just to kind of go through the story. It was said that there's a city of gold hidden somewhere in South America, and explorers from Europe were really curious. They risked everything. They took a lot of risks. They risked their ships going into different waters that maybe had lots of rocks and things like that, men and treasure. I think more materials, searching for it. Some believe the city, that there was this legend that there was a king that was covered in dust, like gold dust, like but gold, that he just was powdered. It sounds so magical, right? Somebody just covered in gold would probably make you sick, but the image sounds beautiful. And so nobody ever found it, but it inspired this legend. It inspired many people to try to look for it. Lots of people lost their lives trying to look for it. And yeah, so El Dorado was said to be a city of gold hidden somewhere in the jungles of South America. Explorers from Europe risked everything: ships, men, and treasure, searching for it. Some believed it was a city, and others a king covered in gold dust. Though none truly found it, the legend inspired adventure, greed, and courage to explore unknown lands. El Dorado represents the eternal human desire for wealth and the danger of obsession. So, yes, that's our story. I hope it's a little bit better now. And here is a little banner question that we've got for you. Let's see. I think that it is this one, number 4. Yeah. Okay. So, out of curiosity here, to be a successful explorer, what personality qualities or skills? What to be a successful explorer? What? There's a mistake there. Not what you qualities. What qualities know you? What personal qualities, skills, and resources do you need to have? So let's see. Yeah, hey, Juan Carlos. Hi, in Peru, there are lots of gold, and the Europeans could have been the Spanish who took all the gold. Most likely. They used to bury the emperors in the gold mask over their face, covered in their image. Yeah, so they probably, these explorers saw this usage of gold and thought, there must be tons of it somewhere. How do I get to it? Okay, so we've got our first adjectives describing the personality, qualities, the skills, and the resources to be an explorer. And we have curious, bold, daring, for sure. El Dorado is just a mirage. It's a legend, right? The legend. So maybe there's some fact a little bit. There's this gold that the explorers saw that had great skill, that was crafted with great skill, but they never found who did it. To be an explorer, you need to be in need good physical endurance and courage. Absolutely. All right, good. So we have curious, bold, daring, good physical endurance. So you can deal with a lot of different sort of situations, courage. Anything else that you can add? I have curiosity. I think we have that, curious. Problem-solving skills, survival techniques, and hope. Ooh, Hitoko, that's a good one, right? You have to think, okay, I didn't find it today, but tomorrow I might. That pushes you deeper into the jungle, I guess. Maybe you have to be skillful, knowledgeable, as well, to explore the jungle. Yeah, and I think you have a good sense of navigation. I would be a horrible explorer. I have 0 navigational skills. Curiosity, optimism, resilience, love those words. Preparation and logistics are good, are also required. Skillful, adventurous, most definitely. You need to have good equipment, definitely. Have good hope, for sure, definitely. You need to, like, first day, you don't find it. The 20th day, you still don't find it. 2 years later, you're still like, but maybe tomorrow. Maybe tomorrow. Okay, so that was just a fun little way of using the language. And we are going to move over to some idioms. Let me remove our banner here and take a look at some idioms. And let's see what we've got. Oops, sorry. And we need slide number 11. And I will hop over to here. And here we go. Observation skills. Yeah, that's true too. And maybe also being able to communicate well with people that you encounter so that you don't A, get killed, and B, that maybe you find out more information. So maybe good communication skills, observation skills, we can add those to the list as well. All right, here we have idioms. All that glitters is not gold. Chase your dreams, bite off more than you can chew, strike it rich. And here are our definitions. A, not everything valuable looks shiny. No, or I would say actually everything that's shiny isn't valuable. there's a mistake there. B, take on too much. C, pursue your goals. D, suddenly gain wealth. Renata, big difference between true explorers and those who conquer and pillage. Yeah, that's a very good point. People who explore for the sake of knowledge and learning and getting to know people, and those who just want to get rich because they are greedy. Very good point, Renata. Okay, so Renate, Lorena, and Alessia are all saying one is A. So all that glitters is not gold, and that's really not everything that is shiny is valuable. 2, we have Leticia and Lorena saying C. Alessia saying C. Chase your dreams. To pursue your goals, to go for your goals. Chase your dreams. Go and chase your dreams. Exactly, Renata. 1 is actually A, 2 is C. Alessio saying 3 is B, bite off more than you can chew. I'm pretty sure we had this idiom a while back. So 3B, bite off more than you can chew, is B, to take on too much. Yeah, I've bitten off more than I can chew. I'm doing too much. I feel like I'm going to collapse. All right, so 3B, exactly. And last but not least, 4, to strike it rich, to suddenly gain wealth. So if you win the lottery, you would strike it rich. If you find gold, if you find oil, you struck it rich. So these are ways that if you get rich very quickly, you can strike it rich. All right. And last but not least for today, I have a nice little poll question to end our lesson for today. Let's see what we've got. And I'm curious to hear what you have to say. One of these things I had never heard of. I hope that you have. Discover oil. Exactly. Yes. I'm just listening, Miss Jen. Can't type actively. No worries, darling. No worries. I'm happy to have you here. You know that, so no stress. So let's see, our last poll question for today. I hope you can see it okay. If you could search for one legendary treasure, which would you choose? Would it be A, El Dorado, the city of gold, B, the fountain of youth, magical spring of youth, so you never get old, C, Shambhala, mystical kingdom of wisdom, which I had never heard of until 2 days ago when I did my research. So if anybody knows anything more about Shambhala, let me know. This is what I have learned. It's a mythical kingdom in Tibetan and Himalayan legends. It is said to be a hidden magical place where people live in peace, wisdom, and spiritual perfection. Some describe it as a paradise filled with knowledge and enlightenment, rather than gold and material treasures. So we have our first answers, Renata and Leticia, C. So in and I like saying that, Shambhala. I don't know if I'm saying it right, but it's fun to say. So Nick wants a little combination, B and C, Fountain of Youth, but you are very young, I think, and Shambhala. So Renate also B, Fountain of Youth, C, B and C. All right. So I think like I would imagine if you have C, you don't really need the others in a way, right? Like you have all this richness within somehow. But my take, I don't know. I think I would definitely go for C. I don't need to be youthful forever. And what would I do with a city of gold? I don't know. So, folks, I would, for those of you who were not here at the beginning of our lesson, I just wanted to let you know that I am now a YouTube. Wait, hold on. I have to see what I can share it with you. It's just amazing. I have reached 4,000 watch hours thanks to all of you because you come regularly, you hang out with me, you participate, you watch and rewatch things, and that has made it so that I have actually reached my goal of, hold on, let me share with you. Where is it? No. Here we go. Look. So you're a YouTube partner. Woohoo! So, okay. So that means that actually when people show up, when people watch, when you people show up and watch, that eventually I could actually get paid because it's very difficult to get. You have to have 1,000 followers and or subscribers, and you need to have 4,000 watch hours, and 4,000 watch hours is a lot of hours. So those of you who have come here every week, who've shown up, who've rewatched things, liked, written comments, all of these things, thank you. Thank you. It's a little sad. Thank you, Isa's son. I didn't know you were here, sweetie. So thank you very much to all of you for making this possible. It's going to take me a while to actually earn a paycheck. And it could very well be that my first paycheck is 20 cents because you need to have like 10,000 people to watch to earn even 100 euros. But I don't care. I'm so happy. So thank you, all of you, for showing up and creating this amazing community that we have. So I am really super grateful for each and every one of you. When I get excited that you're here, I am truly excited that you're here because I love doing this, but I would not love doing this if nobody was here. So I wouldn't do it. So thanks to you. Yeah, no worries, sweetie. Better late than never. And thank you to all of you. I hope you have a absolutely lovely day. And I will see you next week. I'm heading to Berlin tomorrow. We're going to an art fair, so maybe I can post some stuff from the art fair. And my daughter is going to move. So I need to take a look at my messages and help her move into her college dorm. So I hope she's found something. We'll see. She starts her math course on Monday, so she needs to find something. So have a wonderful day, Yuki, my dear. Next week's topic is going to be climate, as you have requested. So thanks to each and every one of you. Big group hug. Thanks, and have a wonderful day. Take care.